Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I am Noctair, your host. So I've got some replays I'm going to share in this video today. These are replays that you guys uploaded. Lots and lots of great stuff. There was over an hour of them on there, and I've got plenty of material for a couple of videos. But hey, definitely go over and upload more. Love seeing it. Link is down below in the comments section, in the description section, actually. So there's a debate that has raged within the Clash of Clans community for years, and that is to rush or not to rush. Now that is the question. Now, setting aside the Shakespeare reference, this question has been hotly debated in the Clash community for a long time. And over on the home village, there really became two distinct camps. One that was serious about clan wars and insisted that maxing was the only way to go, and then one that was more focused on farming and casual war, who realized you could get a lot more by rushing the game. Now, as anyone can see by simply hitting the next button over and over and over again, there's a lot more people that are rushing than there are that are maxing. And that's okay. All right. It's all for fun. Enjoy the game, play it your way. If you want to be a serious warmonger though, you need to max. There's no doubt about it. No argument there. If you're serious about war, maxing is the only way to go. But what about the builder base? See, the builder base is a whole different world. It's a real-time player versus player game, and its very design is not only conducive to the rusher mindset, it actively encourages it. The trophy ranking system has no limits per se. You're able to go as high as you want, or more to the point, as high as you can get. Of course, the higher you go, the more you're going to face higher level opponents, and they're often going to be stronger, so eventually you're going to start losing. And that's how the game self-regulates position within the ranking system. You eventually hit a wall and start losing, and you get backed off a little bit. So at that point, you have a choice. You can either upgrade or you can kind of, suffer through it. Now, in my opinion, the best way to play the game is to play it within the design of the game. And I think that's the case for any game you play. Doesn't matter whether it's Clash of Clans or any other one. You need to look at the design and say, okay, how can I really use this to my advantage? How can I be most effective, most efficient in my gameplay style within the framework that the developers put together? So, 3 different ways that I see to rush the builder base, starting off with the craziest of them all, and that is the hyper rush. If you guys have been with me for a while, either watching on the blog or in the forums for that matter, or some of the videos I've posted, you'll know that I've done a couple of hyper rush projects. There's the Phoenix Abyss Hyper Rush project I did early on, and then later on I did the Clashifer one after Builder Hall 8 was released. And with a Hyper Rush, I go from 0 to Builder Hall 8 as quickly as possible. And I mean, when I say quickly, I mean quickly. I'm not sitting there maxing any kind of defenses or whatever. I'll max the cheapest or easiest troop. I upgrade my storages, and I upgrade to the next level, drop everything, lather, rinse, repeat. That's what it's all about. The idea is to get to the end game as fast as possible and not worry about anything else. My Clashifer game was literally a level 1 defending Builder Hall 8. It had a level 1 battle machine. All the defenses were level 1. The walls, I didn't upgrade squat. I just went straight to Builder Hall 8 as fast as I could. Now, I did buy the level up bonus packs along the way, so I got a couple of things that were a little bit higher level, but it doesn't matter. That's the general gist of what a hyper rush is. It is not for the faint of heart. If you're not experienced with Clash of Clans, and specifically the builder base, probably don't want to do that. I would probably say use this for like an alt or a mini. Don't do that if it's your main game. Take a slightly different approach. The next type of rush, conservative rush. Now, this rush is probably better for a more casual player, somebody who gets on here and there, maybe misses a day or two along the way. The idea is that you keep your defenses not more than 2 levels below your Builder Hall before you upgrade. So that means Builder Hall 5, level 3 defenses before going to Builder Hall 6. Builder Hall 6, you get everything to level 4 before you go to Builder Hall 7. And of course, Builder Hall 7, you get everything level 5 before you upgrade to Builder Hall 8. Now, like I said, this is a very conservative rush. You're still rushing, you're still going to get there more quickly, but along the way, you're taking your time, not so much to enjoy the longer game as much as to be able to be more efficient within the game. Because if you rush too quickly, you're going to have to put more time into it usually. If you go too slow, then you're just going to spend more time losing and beating your head against the wall. So, conservative rush, I like to say that's for the more casual player, and it's a little bit easier going, I think. What I generally prefer to do, and what I recommend for most people, is what I'll call a custom rush. And it's customized in the sense that it's a mix between those two. It's not as slow as the conservative rush, and it's certainly not as fast as the hyper rush. You're going to probably want to max everything at Builder Hall 3, and level 3 becomes your base. You don't upgrade anything until everything is at least level 3. That's defenses, walls, whatever. As you move up, you may want to upgrade this or that depending upon the meta as you see it. Personally, I focus just on my key defenses. So that's going to be the multi-mortar, the giant cannon, the roaster. Sometimes I do the air bombs, kind of depends on my mood. And then, of course, the Mega Tesla. Builder Hall 8 becomes a cleanup level for me. That's where I'm going to bring everything up to a higher level and really start to dig in and work on getting it to the full max. But along the way, I'm just going to max the key defenses and my key troops, which for me, of course, are the beta menus, as you guys know. That's it. And the objective is to get the defensive advantages of more defenses and the offensive advantages of the additional army camps and troops earlier so that I can get more loot. Now, that in general is what the benefit is of any kind of rush that you do. You know, I mean, sure, first and foremost, you get to play with the higher level toys, right? I mean, if you're trying to max the game, you're going to be a month of Tuesdays before you ever see those additional army camps, not to mention things like, you know, the increased troop units you get at higher levels, the higher defenses of the Roaster, Giant Cannon, Mega Tesla, and, you know, things like the drop ships and the Super P.E.K.K.A. that you get at Builder Hall 7 and 8. With power potions, you get to actually play with those troops and, you know, play with them at a higher level. But from a competitive standpoint, it's a given that you're going to move up the trophy rankings much more quickly if you rush. A hyper rush Builder Hall 8 at 1,500 trophies is just going to trounce most players it comes up against. And I mean, that's what I did with my level 1 Builder Hall 8. And by the time I had it at level 12 troops, I was in the mid to upper 2,000s. I crossed 3,000 with that hyper rushed game. That's a lot of loot that you're going to get. The more loot that you get, the more quickly you can progress through the game, the more upgrades you can perform. So, a lot of benefits there. Now, the next question you're going to ask, of course, and I ask the same thing whenever I'm in a situation like this, is, you know, what's the downside? Is there a downside? Generally speaking, no, not really. But there is a bit of a caveat here. Remember what I mentioned earlier about how there's no ceiling on the trophy rankings and it's self-regulating? Well, self-regulating can be a real pain in the derriere, guys. As a rushed game, you're eventually going to hit that ceiling, and your offensive and defensive capabilities are not going to be on par with the people that you're going up against. That means you're going to lose more. And if that 50-50 win-loss ratio flips upside down on you, that's going to be kind of a bummer. I mean, it gets a bit demoralizing. So you can kind of play with your trophies there. Maybe not be so serious about the wins and the trophy push when you get up to that point, but just kind of keep that in mind. Set your expectations ahead of time. It's not going to last very long. Okay, you know, that dark time at the top there, eventually you do get your base defensively and offensively to a point that you're able to kind of cruise through that. So, you know, don't despair and such. Just take a look at the bigger picture and realize you made it much further along, far more quickly than any other upgrade path, and you're having fun. That's the idea. Have fun with the game. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end of the video. Hope you guys saw those 2 new bases that I posted in there too, one at the beginning, one at the end. If you got any questions or comments, drop them down below. Email me, gamingwithnock@gmail.com, and I'll catch you all later. I'll be back later on with more builder-based content. Take care. Bye-bye.